Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to this explainer. We're going to break down an incredibly effective methodology behind a 30-day English fluency challenge. If you've ever felt completely stuck in your language learning journey, well, you're in the exact right place today. We're extracting the core insights from a comprehensive Day 1 toolkit designed by an English teacher named Massu. Now, this isn't about memorizing those massive, dusty grammar books. No way. It's about fundamentally rewiring how you approach speaking a new language. We're going to look at the exact psychological shifts, the real-world practice techniques, and the daily habits that can literally take you from freezing up to speaking freely.
So tell me if this sounds familiar. You watch English media perfectly fine, right? You probably know hundreds, maybe even thousands of vocabulary words. But the very second someone actually talks to you, you freeze. Your mind just goes completely blank. You're frantically trying to translate your native language into English in your head, but the words just won't come out. Well, according to our source material, this is the single most common and honestly the most painful problem in language learning. Fear, shyness, and that really bad habit of overthinking grammar, they all just create this massive mental roadblock. But here is the good news we're exploring today. This is not a lack of knowledge. It's simply a barrier in execution. And that actually brings us to the absolute core philosophy of this entire approach. Fluency doesn't mean speaking perfectly. Fluency means speaking comfortably. It's so absolutely crucial to reframe our mindset right here at the start. The source really emphasizes that speaking English is not some exam where you lose points for every little error. Communication is the whole shebang. It's the ultimate goal. I mean, even native English speakers make mistakes every single day. The minute you give yourself permission to just stop being perfect, you actually open the door to genuine fluency. It's a real game changer. So here's our game plan for today's explainer. First, overcoming the language barrier. Second, real-world conversation practice. Third, essential English vocabulary. Fourth, 5 rules for fluency. And finally, number 5, your daily challenge. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. Overcoming the language barrier and how to stop translating in your head. To actually stop that mental translation, the source offers a highly practical solution called shadowing. So what does this mean? Shadowing is simply listening to an English sentence and repeating it immediately out loud. The source uses this technique heavily. You don't pause to analyze the grammar, and you definitely don't translate it back into your native language. You just hear it and you say it. The teacher in our source uses 99 specific sentences for this, starting incredibly simple, stuff like, I woke up at 7 o'clock, and then slowly building up. By forcing your brain to repeat immediately, you completely bypass that translation reflex. You start building what they call speaking muscles, which basically trains your brain to just think in English automatically over time.
Moving on to Section 2, real-world conversation practice and real-world scenarios.
Now, this methodology brilliantly bridges the gap between classroom theory and everyday survival by using incredibly common role-play scenarios. Because think about it, when you travel to an English-speaking country, you are going to be sitting down to take a multiple-choice test, right? You're going to be at a restaurant ordering water, that's step 1. You're going to be bumping into an old friend and casually discussing what you've been up to, using natural expressions like long time no see, that's step 2. Or step 3, you're going to be a bit lost in a new city and need to politely ask a stranger for directions to the train station. Practicing these exact, highly predictable situations in advance completely strips away the anxiety of the unknown. Which brings us to Section 3, essential English vocabulary, focusing on action-oriented words. Take a look at these 8 core words: practice, improve, confident, fluent, mistake, repeat, conversation, challenge. Notice a theme here. These aren't just random everyday nouns. They are highly action-oriented words completely designed to reinforce an active learning mindset. For example, the source specifically defines challenge as something difficult but exciting. Confident means you truly believe in yourself. By mastering and using these specific words daily, you're constantly reminding yourself of the journey you're actually on. You aren't just learning English. You are quite literally learning how to learn.
All right, Section 4, 5 rules for fluency, which is all about the mindset shift.
The source distills this entire philosophy down to 5 absolutely non-negotiable rules. Rule 1, speak daily, even if it's just for 5 minutes talking to yourself in the mirror. Speaking is exactly like a physical exercise. The more you do it, the stronger you get. Rule 2, stop translating. When you see a dog, don't think of the word in your native language first. Just think dog. Rule 3, make mistakes. Rule 4, listen actively. Don't just let English play in the background like elevator music. Pay attention, try to understand the meaning, and repeat the words. And Rule 5, be patient. Fluency is the result of consistency. It's not some overnight magic trick. You really just have to trust the process. Now, I want to pause for a second on rule number 3 because this represents the absolute most vital mental shift in this entire explainer. Mistakes are not your enemy. They're your teacher. If you take only one single thing away from our time together today, please let it be this. If you aren't making mistakes, you aren't practicing enough. It's really that simple. The fear of looking foolish or, using the wrong verb tense, that is exactly what keeps people frozen. You have to embrace the error. Every single mistake is just a data point that helps you improve for your very next conversation.
And finally, Section 5, your daily challenge, where it's time to take action now.
So here is the challenge derived straight from our source material directly to you. Can you speak 10 sentences out loud today? Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. Talk about your day, describe how you're feeling, state your goals out loud. You do not have to be perfect, you just have to start. So ask yourself, what are your 10 sentences going to be? And are you brave enough to say them out loud right this second?